can I say? Be late for my own funeral. What's up, James? James still here? Or did I take too long? I set my phone down at the grocery store and left. And then I thought about, like, oh, I need to charge it. Probably, I don't know, 30 minutes before. And that's when I realized I didn't have it. So I had to go back and try to get it. And the problem was, it had been long enough that they had put it back in the office and they were almost closed. So they said, yeah, I think we have it. But then it took forever before it finally appeared. So my bad, guys. I'm here now. I thought I was going to have to miss this one because I thought I had lost my phone. So, Tonaz, what's up? We got Billy, we got James. Cool. Yeah, my bad, guys. Is the audio all right? We good? Move you guys closer. Oh. Oh, shit. So, been just an exhausting week, just in general. But yeah, I got a lot of notes to get into for this one. I got a question about taking down a tree. Well, bring it on. I may have an answer. I could give it a shot at least. Sorry, I hate smoking on camera. I feel like that's what I should do. I should just stream my entire life and it would make me want to quit smoking more. Does that look ridiculous? There's a cigarette in my hand. Oh, Dan K, what's going on, brother? I got a lot of tickets to hand out. And from now on while I'm out doing my flea marketing and stuff, I'm gonna look for a sheriff's badge. Billy is a deputy, so I think Ground Pounder has been deputized, so they can also hand out tickets. But someone has to hold down a little bit of law around here. I was gonna, maybe it's Halloween. I should look for a whole sheriff getup and just rock it every time, like walk on screen wearing it. What do you think? James is all for it. Yes. So we're definitely giving out a what was, I'm trying to see exactly the term for the ticket. Improper glazing. So it's something that's a little popular nowadays. There's just certain people that are just, they're glazers, and as men doing a very manly job, it just sticks out sometimes, and it's very like, wow, that was weird. But so we're gonna have to give a couple of them tickets out, but I think that may come with the new generation, and like maybe a ongoing regular thing. So okay, so Todd says, so there was this tree I'm looking to take down. It's pretty high. It has a loud branch overhanging the roof of the house, but over the house, but the climate rigging point is not much higher than the limb. Well, I would suggest climb out and dog leash. Let me show you like a little idea you could use. So we can do this every time too. So if people have questions like this, we can try to work like answer them as we do this. Like, but after I don't know, after I get into my news mode, and I'm trolling, it's kind of hard to get out of that. But I feel like I enjoy trying to solve problems. That's my favorite part of cutting trees because it hasn't become completely mechanized and there's still some physical problem solving that has to go on, and I think I enjoy it so much. But if you've left a comment in the past few, give me just a second. I will get to it. I'm just gonna try to show this to Ton real quick. All right, so tree. Okay, so if you have it like this, okay, I kind of see what you're saying. I just kind of did one like that. The reason trees end up looking like this a lot of times is because there's another tree usually in the yard. There's something else in the yard, and it blocks the it blocks the sunlight over here. So over the top of a house. Oh my! I hate when I do that. I get to just rambling. So the reason trees end up growing often over the house is because that's where it's going to get its best sunlight. There's nothing over the top of the house, and usually there's other structures, other trees in the yard, so they start to grow over. Don, is this similar to what you're talking about? I'm going to set it down and I'm going to answer comments and then we'll go back to it. Oh, shoot. I'm not very far anyway. Awesome. How would that lateral band? I can show you a couple different ways. Start with the misdemeanors and move to the felony. I need to do that too. Yeah, I need to like categorize them. Start doing legit like tickets. Okay. So now telling what I would do. Yeah, pretty close. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Um, so what I would do if you can't rig off of it and it goes out, you can always like dog leash it off of it. So you could take and work this thing back in pieces, like by dog this or having a guy onto the roof where you just tie a little strap from here to here and it doesn't have to take this long crazy swing, but you cut it off and then you have the branch hanging down here and then you could maybe disconnect it, have a guy on the roof take it and walk off with it, throw it off the roof, or you can take your rigging point and turn it into, instead of having just a single rope that goes like on this tree, I would run mine like up this. Actually, I would run it from there up that backside to here, then over to here, and I would get these two compressing together. I may even go up to here to there to there. That way they're all pulling back as you rig every time. And instead of having a single line done, I would use a spider leg. So I would have two connection points like that, and then direct it to the side and let it swing, and you could kind of turn it, put a tag line on it for the guys to pull. But you could suspend the piece, and then when that piece swings off and it's disconnected, you have another tag line going down to your ground guys down here, and the guy on the rope here can lower it while these ground guys pull it away from the house. So, do you know how to use a spider leg ton and how to set one up? Oh, Tree Guy's here. What's going on, man? How would you get out to that branch? Well, I would see with a tie-in point. Usually, when I'm making like a long limb walk, let me do this again. When I'm making a long limb walk on something like this, I would do something very similar to this. Even though this is the tie-in point, the highest point in the tree, okay? This wouldn't be my initial anchor. It would be my first anchor, but before I go out here, I would go up to the closest branches and I would redirect my climb line over like I did the rigging. Then instead of me being like hanging like this, I've moved myself all the way over to there. So now I'm even closer. Even though it's not way above the point, having that redirect clipped in can help you save you. Or you keep your tie-in point if you don't have like that option to get closer. You keep your tie-in point and you want to keep your back to like your tie-in points there. You want to keep your rear end going away from it, okay? So what I would do is get to facing back towards where the my climb line is. My rope, even if I was tied into this one, my rope would be coming like down like that, and I would climb on the side of the limb. Sometimes going on top, it feels more reckless, like you're walking yourself, but you can hang and lanyard yourself, put your lanyard on, and just walk on the side of the limb. You can walk on the top till you start to get really stretched out. And after you get really away from your tie-in point, it feels much more comfortable to put your weight down into your hips then more and set into it. Then you can go sideways onto the limb and just work your lanyard up it, up it, up it. And then you're not putting all your body weight straight down on it too. So you could get out there pretty far. Or use a little trick with a throw ball to get the rope out there, or there's a lot of different little ways you could do it. It's just run yourself a redirect. Is your concern that you're gonna go flying back in if you go out there, or are you scared that the limb's gonna actually fail if you try to go out on? Is it the sketchiness of being so far from your tie-in point? Tree guy says happy weekend. You too, brother. I seen the gnarliest tree today. It was a like cottonwood that had uprooted because there's flooding. The guy lives next to this river. It uprooted, landed into like four other like hackberry trees that were really small, and they're bent like question marks with this massive cottonwood on top of them. And then running next to it is this uh, bunch of electric wires, and it's like completely lodged into them. There's no tree tall enough to tie into and work it. And it's like probably five, you know, across at the base. It's a hog. It's about even with the branch. Well, then I would rig. I would do like a redirect like you would with your climb line. Do you have? Okay, answer me this. How much room do you have room to hang the limb if it just stayed right there? Do you have room to hang the limb and it not hit the house? It's more that the branch goes way out from the tying point. Yeah, what you could do if you're climbing SRT or DRT, as you work yourself out that limb, if you get to where you start to feel sketched out, clip a redirect in. And then you're not going to go flying back. Like, and if you have your lanyard on, you're not going to go shooting back into there, and just keep weight into your climbing system and use it like work the side of the limb. If you can hang that limb there, you can do a trick that I kind of call like it's like a two-step swing where you dog leash it, hang it, then go back. Like if you had this one here, I would dog leash this like I was telling you to begin with. And let's do this. This isn't even here. That's hard to do backwards. So let's say it's just like this. And these two are so very similar. And maybe I have a little bit more space over the house, but I got to rig from here. I would definitely go back it up here and then over. That way it would kind of compress into the limb a little. But my rigging rope going down, here's where I would take it and I would dog leash like this to right here. As close as I can get it, I would make my undercut before I clipped it on. And what would happen is you would take this thing, it would get cut, and it would now be hanging from here. It looks like I may have hit the roof. So it's hanging from there. Then you can take your rigging rope, tie on, and cut this, and both of them will go. So you kind of moved it, instead of shock loading it with all that weight, you settled part of it into the system, then cut that off with it being attached. If you got the strap on there right, it won't come off, it will just swing out. And in this situation, I would definitely probably go out and almost tip tie and then cut that off where the butt would drop down, and both of them would be about the same height then. What would end up happening is they'd both be about the same height. So there's the stem to that. This is ridiculous trying to draw upside down. And they would both swing in to there. It has room if it's cut from the tip. Yeah. Yeah, it just sounds a little sketchy. If you could get up there on the roof and just run like a redirect. Sometimes I'll go way out on the roof like this and rig, if there's a branch going out like this, instead of trying to rig that branch down right there and swing it back, or, say there is room, but it'll hit something over here like a telephone pole, I'll just run a redirect right here and just rig a little section off. And that, as you cut that little section, your rigging rope's going like this, and it would kind of droop under, be hooked up. That piece would, then you could send it down to a guy on the roof, have him disconnect it, throw it off, and then do that and work your way down it. But it just sounds like you're going to be dealing with side loading and stuff like that on the branches. So just reassure that you get the strongest tie-in point that you can get, and then try to make your rigging as strong as you can possibly get it. And you're covering all bases. You're just looking to create clearance on everything then. So can you read me your picture upside down? What picture? You see my two pictures? We got the A team with Greg and Dano, and then we got Dano. Make stickers with your faces on them and send them to me so I can put them on my board. I need more faces. But I hope that helps, Don. There's just a couple little tricks you can use. And if you don't have a whole lot of time in the saddle, these are those jobs that after you do it, you realize like you're gonna feel like you stepped up a level because you did that uncomfortable thing that a lot of guys that say they climb, it's very self-explanatory, everything they do. you'll do one of them tricky ones, and it's like you'll learn stuff on this one. So sometimes it's not. I think it's not. Don't quickly just be like, oh, I can't do it. Um, Give it a little bit. Think of some things. Try it out, and you'll learn some probably good knowledge along the way. Ah, dang it. That sucks. You're funny, James. Got me. So you can't troll me. I'm not in troll mode yet. Um, we'll start handing out tickets. You're almost 30 minutes in. Somebody's getting a ticket. All right. Glazing. What is that? So the thumbnail showed it. I didn't know if you could read it, but I'll try to make the thumbnails a little bit about what I'm thinking of doing for the videos, which makes it kind of fun for me. It's chilly out here, but sometimes I just want to go into my gallery and just pick a random picture. So, all right. So I'm in my squad car. I got my phone in my hand, like any officer of the law would be doing, and I'm watching YouTube. And I just I don't understand some things. Now, first, I want you to remember that a few weeks back we had a discussion of a climber who says that he made it clear in his video that he finds himself to be on a level far above any of the climbers in the Pacific Northwest that do tall conifers like the pines, the cedars, all that stuff. And maybe he meant to be much more specific, but he was not. He was uh, very kind of vague with the whole thing, meaning to me that like you just feel like you're on a level above. His understanding is that he could do the 200-foot redwoods and stuff because it's just a straight tree with with limbs on them. I mean, just set on the trunk and cut limbs all day. He could do that. He says he could do that all day. He's like, but he finds himself to be a better climber because he has to do white oaks that are spread out. And he said that those kind of trees are 3 times, 10 times harder. I don't know his exact times that he said, but the oak trees are that much harder than anything. Those guys on the Pacific Northwest. It just sounds to me almost like he's aggravated maybe by another YouTuber's success. And I get it. Sometimes that happens. Like you just you're not everybody's cup of tea. And then if you hit a wave, sometimes you're just gonna be like, there's gonna be them people that are like, that dude sucks even more now that he's doing good. So maybe it's that. I don't know if that's what it was, but he made it clear that he was gonna talk about it in his video that he has yet to upload. And we've been waiting weeks now for this, and nothing. I'm like, huh? I wonder what's going on with this. I just flipped the lights on, James. I'm about to hit the sirens. So I'm like, what's going on with this? And I think I may have sort of figured it out. I think he knew his goose was cooked in the whole situation. So he has absolutely flip flopped the videos and mixed them up because he just put out a response to his initial time of me talking to him. When I left a comment, he got offended. He just put out his response in a video to that. And that was like 5 or 6 weeks before that. So I'm like, huh, weird. What's going on? So I think that's what he's done. He's mixed them up that way. I think he had probably put the video out. He cut it out when he said in the video he talked about how much better he is than all those guys. And if you think that, cool, think it. Like, you're entitled to have your own opinion. If you think you're the best climber in the world, cool. But you can't then glaze the hell out of a different dude. Like, one of them guys that you basically said you were better than. I don't know if he realizes where August is located, but you can't say you're 10 times better than them guys and then turn around and say that they've taught you so many of your tricks in your toolbox came from him. And you're not ashamed to say that, he's taught you so much. And I'm like, God, what is going on here? Now, I'm not looking to pick at anybody too much, but that's I have to point out the hypocrisy in that. That is absolutely just, come on. I have a crew of guys, and the crew's not huge, but we kind of all hold each other accountable. If one of us does some sus stuff, the other one's poking at him. That's just kind of the way we are. I like that, and I think it forces you to kind of stay on your toes. But I think I've offended too much, and now it's really been taken personal by him to the point that, like, he called me a troll. I don't like that. Um, I'm not a troll. I am a troll. He's right. I'm a troll. But only on Saturdays at around 8:30. That's it. I'm a good guy, nice guy, fun guy, cool guy. The rest of the week. So this is just my little bit of time that I get to justify being a little bit rude, a little bit mean, maybe bringing up a couple subjects that people didn't want brought up, and kind of pointing out the silly stuff that I see and having a little bit of fun in the process. So, as we get into it, I have to say it again. All the things that I say are simply my opinion and are not fact. I'm just a dude. A random dude. So, try to keep up with the comment. Brandon, what's going on, brother? Yank's here too? Dang. I'll try to keep up with it now, guys. And you guys are kicking him out, though. Part-time troll. Part-time troll, exactly. Like, I don't even know if I'm technically even on the payroll. I think I just come by to, like, help out every once in a while. Yeah, I'm not even on the payroll. My time is just, it's a hobby. It's not even a job. It's a hobby. It's something you do for fun every once in a while. You ride your skateboard. You ride a bike. You, I don't know what you guys do. You do something. But, you go hunting. Shoot a gun. Do whatever you want. This is my hobby on Saturday evening. And I find joy in it. And it's a good time. It always gives us something to talk about. I'm sure there will be those random live feeds where I don't do this. Unless, I don't know. Is there a reason? It's going to have to be a pretty good reason because I like this. I have a lot of fun doing this. So, have you watched his channel? I tried, Billy. You're funny. How big of a branch can you go when doing the dog leash? Depends on how strong your dog leash is. If you think about it this way, son. I've dog leashed entire trees over because I had a limb that wasn't tall enough. So Like have these like really skinny ash trees or something like that, or a little maple that's really tall, a little oak. And so you have the spider left. Okay, you guys are gonna love this. This is gonna be so good. I'm killing it right now. Strong looks sick. Oh, I ruined it. Okay, so with this, and Officer Mike's in there, and he's like cutting some stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'm extended all the way out. What am I gonna do, man? The check out the booms. They're like 20 times bigger than any of the legs, and the like I got special classes, but I'm cutting. But you can't do it. Don't have enough room. I would hang this off of that. The reason for that, I would hang this limb off of itself. I would hang this limb because it's holding its own weight as of right now. You are going to introduce a little bit of shock into it, but you want to make sure that your strap is strong enough. But I would take whole trees like this and cut it there. I would take a strap up here, put it around to there, and I would cut the whole thing, and it would be hanging right before the flower bed down there off the side of the tree. So it wouldn't be hanging way out here, but I had to do that because the bucket operator was in the way. He could have swung the bucket out of the way. I look lazy right there, even. Actually, I start to get a weird motion sickness just talking about being in a lift. That weird queasy stomach feeling where it just rocks at all times. It has that little bit of a sway to it. Dude, this sucks. The saddle don't do that. Yeah, yeah, it's a true spider leg, 100%. Brandon, I agree. I would have to agree, brother. No, the doing of that was not a good. Like I would blow tops out. Normally you wouldn't attempt that, especially because, well, you would want to take multiple wraps on the lower one and on the upper one if you're on a straight pole, because the chance of it slipping off. So you would definitely double wrap. But I used to have some pretty strong um, straps. I use them now for the maze dam and stuff. But you do that while in the tree, yeah, yeah. If you had to, you're just hanging off the side. You just swing it. I do that. That's a trick. Like, and then what you would do. The reason I started using it is because I need to be hands free, and instead of going like way out on a limb out here like this, instead of going way out here on that, I would dog leash it. Like even sometimes I dog leash it nearby limb. Dog leash it there. But say I'm tied in up here and I'm climbing right here. Well, actually, I wouldn't want to be there because I'm about to fall the branch there. But I'd be on the other side and I dog leash that limb and hang it off here. Then I would just process it while it hangs. Cut, cut, cut. Let it fall down. Especially if you have that like where you're clear at the trunk of the tree, but you have obstacles out from it, like a house was over here or something. I like using these where you dog leash it, it goes against the trunk or against the limb. Then you can go, it's close to you now. You can reach out there and process it. You just got to watch for, just like any other kind of rigging setup, as you start to cut these, if you have that strap hooked like right there, eventually, as you cut and work your way up this is going to be the heavy end and it will flip over and donk you in the head. something. So, but yeah, that's always nice where you can dog leash something, go down and process it. I would do that with stuff like over a porch or something, but I couldn't get stretched out to it. I'd have to do too big a piece. I would dog leash it to itself. So then it was in an area I could bring the lift down to and get to, that I could process it and chuck it in much smaller pieces, and I wasn't forced to have to hold something huge. I could get it close to me and then process it comfortably. But yeah, 100%, Tom. I'm gonna try to make it through this live feed without the comments going out like they did last time. I don't know what was up with that, but are you guys there still, or is my phone doing that again? Okay, so back to the cop car. Um, yeah. Oh, you still there? Cool. All right. Now I'm all shell shocked from last time. I don't know why that happened. That aggravated the hell out of me. But yeah, you can't be like, I'm better. Yeah, they suck. We're 3 times better. They basically can't do what I do, but I can do what they do. And then be like, this guy's amazing. He's taught me so many things. He's the reason I even bought a toolbox to have tools, to put tools in. You can't do that. So, improper glazing, because you like said you weren't a, you're like, I'm not afraid to say it. I love August. I don't know if he said love. Um, but it was weird. So knock it off. You shouldn't. You don't have to go. You don't have to go like backpedaling so much if you just kind of think about what you do beforehand. So right's right, wrong's wrong, and I'm going to touch on that multiple times in this. It's the law. Right is right, and wrong is wrong. That's why you get a ticket. So then he seems to remember how to properly prune. Now, I'm not going to say this channel because I feel like it's just too negative that I'm going on to it, and I don't want to negatively affect the channel, but someone in the chat will let it be known. And if you guys want to check into it, have at it. But I don't want to bring any negative attention like at the channel. I want him to grow his channel and him to do great. I tried to help originally and was trying to give him shout outs and stuff. I'm sure he's got some traffic over there that came from me because I was all about it. I liked the country dude. Like, seemed like he was just a bit hick like me. So I'm like, all right, he's cool. And then I don't even know. I asked some questions that maybe offended, at, and it's just I don't know. And oh well, he did like some weird stuff, and I kind of pointed that out. I just laughed. I didn't say him. I never directly like pointed a weapon at him. I just made a couple skits, had a couple laughs, made a couple points, and he figured it out and was offended. Shouldn't be, but I also pointed out at one point, hey, dude, if that tree is there and you are going to leave that tree, you're there to prune the tree and fix the tree because it has a broken top in it. What are you spiking it for? So he spiked the piss out of it because certain guys, like if you just want to do trees your way, do it. But you can't then turn around and try to pretend like you're an arborist and like the Mr. Technical, and I'm going to teach you all every proper way to do it. You're regurgitating things that you've seen either in literature or other people say. So that's not original. That's what YouTube is. Like people like to share. I get that. It's instinct to want to give information and teach and actually show what it is that you know. So none of these things are really that bad of traits. But I mean, the first one, what I'm poking at him because he's confident, but his confidence got him bumping his gums and saying some stuff that he's now retracting and going into damage control and talking about how much he loves somebody because you were kind of just ignorant. And it's not that I feel like I only took it that way because most of these videos are that are on YouTube. There are those live videos, those all the way raw cut videos. But for the most part, things are edited. When I see that they're edited and you leave a section of it in there, I feel like you left it in there for a particular reason. So I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Why would you do that? I thought you really liked August and all the guys over that direction, like, guilty of treason or Veterans Tree Service or whoever it may be. I was very just in awe when it happened. So I'm like, well, that's weird. But he got super offended when I asked him why he didn't rope walk up this tree and trim the tree properly. If you're gonna prune the tree and you want to teach people how to prune stuff, why don't you just do it properly? Nothing wrong with sharing, but at least know what you're doing. That helps, Billy. It's the I think sometimes people can get in this YouTube craze where it's like, I just want to be the first guy to talk about this. So they almost try to make things up and like, oh, I want to be a guy that, and everything's out there now. Like everything is out there now. You just need to think of a way to present it in a way that's maybe a little more interesting, gets a little more traction. But ego's a hell of a drug. It is. It is. And I'm telling you, I felt super cocky as my channel. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I had this oh, I'm gonna make it as a YouTuber. And then I didn't. And I still don't. And I probably never will. So then you start to look at it as, well, I like the community that I have. And I want to hang around for that, if for nothing else. So I'll always enjoy watching something new. I like when guys they explain things throughout their videos. I enjoy that. I enjoy when he does this. But you just need to make sure that you're not trying to teach something that you're not knowledgeable in. So puts out this video this week, and all of a sudden he says, "Well, you look at this. Oh my, I'm up in the tree without spikes on." And the reason that I'm up in this tree without spikes on is because this tree doesn't have a broken top in it. Okay. You can't pick and choose when the rules apply to you. I don't care how big of a YouTuber you are. Guilty of treason? You can't pick and choose when the rules apply just because you got the biggest channel. And that goes the same for the guy at the bottom. If you want to present yourself as somebody that does everything to the T, proper, I've never said that everything I do is proper, exactly how you should do it. I'm just showing you what I do. Like, if I can help somebody along the way, I'm totally for that. A lot of videos, I feel like the videos were made more from like conversations from like these live feeds a lot of times. And that's what I've moved into. I'll talk to you guys in live feeds and I'll get like inspo on some things that we talk about. And then I'll work that kind of into a video. And you just kind of gotta figure out your own lane there. I think the guys, I think he could figure it out, maybe, but he was very offended. He called me a troll. He says that the reason is because it doesn't have a broke top, and he didn't call me a troll there. He basically just talked to me very arrogantly and like I was dumb. And no, 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 you don't get to pick and choose when the rules work. The law is the law. Additional ticket. Improper pruning. So improper glazing, improper pruning. Spike the tree. You harm the tree. Assault charge on the tree. There. So he does this one the right way. Ropes walks up, does his thing in the tree. Seems to know what he's doing in a tree. Originally, that's what I talked about, and that's what I said. He's just gotten offended, and then has let that flip flop my opinion of him. So he says, yeah, the broken top is the reason for the tree. If the tree is going to stay, and you long term, you're looking to long term save that tree in any way, and you want it to stay there, you shouldn't spike it. Now, if you and the homeowner have this agreement that later on we're taking this tree down, I'm going to take it down here soon, spike the piss out of it. You're thinking long term, and you're doing things correct. But you can't pick and choose when you want the rules to apply, especially when you're trying to run in a lane that you're passing in a no passing lane. Ticket. I mean, these guys are getting a lot of them. I don't know why he waited 3 to 4 weeks to put out a lame response like that. I thought that was kind of weird. I had forgot about even that even happened. Then randomly, he's like, got up into the tree after the discussion on how he's figured out and remembered how to properly prune, rope walk, and all that. Because of this tree being so much more special than the other one, I don't really know why. He doesn't either. But he gets up in the top, and as he's moving around, he starts cutting. He forgot to tie himself back in. He disconnected his main tie-in point, got up a little ways, and forgot to tie in. Started cutting again. He pointed it out. Good on him. He should have remembered to do that. But then he says, "Will you look at that, YouTube? Will you look at that, viewer? Will you look at that?" Hang on, I think I have the exact words that he said, but yeah, I don't know where I wrote it down, but he ended it with and you know, calls himself out, I guess, and then says like, only reason I said anything and trying to do everything right is because the YouTube viewers, you know, and the trolls. Like, I don't know if he's being trolled repeatedly by people, and I hope he isn't. That just makes YouTube aggravating at times. But he came over to my channel and trolled me afterwards when he got offended, and I just don't know. If you're the type of guy that makes rules apply on certain days and not others, I feel like you're the type of guy to just constantly dog on other people, put yourself up until you start to realize that maybe that's not the popular opinion, and you may ruffle some feathers, and it may outcome something it may trickle down to where it affects you later on. Then you start backpedaling. Kind of find that lame. Hopefully that's not what he was going for. We'll see. Yank have takeoff? Okay. You too, Yank. See ya, brother. Okay, yeah, there was some pruning that he got into, and he started to teach how to do pruning cuts. And I don't know. if you realize sometimes when you contradict, just like he says, you need to make your pruning cuts when you're taking a limb off. You need to make it back to the collar into the smallest diameter cut that you can make without actually being in the collar, without leaving a stub, was his exact terms. Um, and then repeated to like he left would leave stubs like this because the tree had a little deformed spot to it where it flared out a little again. He's like, no, technically it would be bigger if I go back a little bit. And I may be wrong on that. Maybe their oak trees just grow funky. Maybe it was a burl oak and they get those weird swells and stuff inside them. But yeah, I don't know sometimes. Oh, what's up, Joseph? All right. I don't know. I don't even want to do no more of that. I'll go back to it if I get bored. So guilty of treason. Just put out a video, and always does. It kind of works good for me. Usually when I get up this morning, I'll watch it, and it's usually a pretty longer video. Oh, I have my video pretty close to being done, but it's almost an hour. Is that something you guys want to watch? Like, you want to watch an entire hour worth? Because I don't know. I feel like my videos that do the best are shorter, but my recent video was longer and it did better than the ones before it. So I don't know. I'll see. I may end up putting out a pretty long, like I think it's almost an hour long video. It's more raw, just all of it. And I was knocking out ash trees that I had to climb up in the power line over a new um, or freshly sealed blacktop driveway. But yeah, Guilty put out that video, backyard, or what did he say? Big chunky backyard fur removal. And man, he's got the hookup. Those guys from FMI, they are so good to him. And that is so awesome. He's got that kind of a hookup that he can call them and be like, can we demo a piece of machinery? And they will bring him a stump grinder. Because not only is he a potential client, he will give them additional advertisement when they bring him this product, which I guarantee has brought them probably quite a bit of business. But yeah, they bring in some stump grinders for him. He asked if they had a bigger stump grinder. The guy brings two, and I think he ends up using both of them. I spaced out a little bit during the stump grinding, but that stump was gnarly. Was had this crazy flare that went out one side and was like almost like a whole tree trunk to itself. And apparently they were going to be building where the stump was at, so he had to take it pretty low. He ended up with that brand new machine. He ended up like not only grinding the stump, but he also grinded a concrete block, like a big slab of or like chunk of concrete. It just grinded right away at it. So I think it was a Rayco. Pretty cool machine. So good on him. He's got that kind of a hookup. I'm sure it comes in handy, and they seem like just really good guys. The company. So thought that was slick. That just made that day that was going to be rough because he's got a smaller stump grinder. Made it just so much better. So shout out to those guys to FMI for doing that. They are good fellas. But Meta Spencer. Oh, did I see Jay? What up, brother? How are you? So, oh, Jay, I was let's. It looks cold, man. Is it cold there? Because I'm kind of cold outside, and it's not that cold here. It's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 40 or something like that. Probably warmer than that. Probably like closer to high 40s. I was gonna say I could check my phone, but no, I cannot. We're in the middle of writing tickets. Um, Ground Pounder is selling his Monkey Beaver saddle, his I think 1.0. So anybody interested in that, go check his channel out too. Um, that's Ground Pounder, spelled exactly how it sounds. So doing good. You guys are doing awesome. So, dang man, yeah, it looks so cold. I was like cold just looking at the thumbnail. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, I'm curious. Like Billy, the car looks like you're getting some work done. You guys are insane with your body work. The the refabs that you're doing on these cars sometimes are just insane. Blows my mind. I just don't have the mechanical skill. But August ended up checking out a couple. Well, no, he used an organ bar, and that they gave him probably at the expo, which is weird because he sells bars, but I didn't get to finish it. He said he would just be straight up. If he likes it, he likes it. If he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. And I got to give him that over anything. I think the dude is honest and like pretty open. I think he's even more open than he realizes. That like sometimes he gives off the vibe of maybe what he's really feeling, and then like people read it and they're like don't get it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I would be if I had to wear his shoes. The dude deals with a lot of stuff. Got a big family. Has a big following on social medias and stuff like that, and seems to do it all pretty good without causing too much ruckus and offending too many people. So I mean, my channel is much smaller. I feel like I offend way more people than him. So he's taking the smart route to build a channel, but it's a smart route. Uh, oh, he also did the. I'm not just looking at my leg like there's notes down here. He demoed that Milwaukee battery powered saw, the one that's got the double batteries. I'm out. As soon as the oh, it's not over here. I don't think. As soon as the damn battery size got bigger than that little handsaw wing 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 thing, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not buying. I don't want to have to charge two stinking batteries to run one chainsaw. I think it may run off one, but and then the ones I would buy, you would then tell me that oh, there's a bigger, better battery that you should have bought, and it would run even better. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's lame. I'm not the biggest fan of battery powered saws in general, but come on. You couldn't figure out how to make one battery? You gotta have two in it? It looks goofy. Like, I'm sorry, Milwaukee. I used one of their battery powered. A homeowner let me use it, and I used it up in a shagbark hickory that had a broken top. It was pretty fun saw. Seemed like that's a pretty good battery powered saw, that little top handle that they make. But I'm not even gonna use a saw. It's got two big batteries hanging out the side of it to look goofy as hell. That is the lamest looking saw I've ever seen. You couldn't figure out how to make one? Really? Been working on it a lot, huh? Right on, Jay. That is awesome. I can't wait to see it done, dude. It's gonna be sick. Well, that's awesome, Jay. That's the. I mean, that's the. That was the original reason for this, and I'm pretty sure it's probably to the T. I say it the exact same when I started this channel. I'm just, I feel almost, I would feel stupid to not document something like this that I'm doing that's fun. I like being creative and making videos. But my daughter is far too smart to destroy her body doing anything I did. So she's taken the exact opposite route, and life will be much easier along the way for her. Um, and I like that. But I don't have anybody to give my info to. And so that's why I feel like I'm always so open and willing to share. A lot of these guys that are anywhere near around me, I think they think we're competing too much. Like I don't care. I guarantee you, I am better to you as a resource than I am an enemy. You're goofy. You're goofy to be offended. What? Because it says tree climber on my shirt and you got a shirt that says the same? I don't get it. And I don't know if maybe in you guys' towns or maybe where these guys live that are getting so offended, there's only a couple trees there. And so they gotta like stand their ground and be like, that's my tree. There's plenty of trees where I live, and I'm not about to start having some disagreement or argument or feud over a damn tree. I get it being angry and being broke and getting down. Like, I get that more than anybody. Trust me. Um, and oh, you feel like that guy cut your throat for no reason just to screw you over. You're thinking he's doing it all on purpose. I get it, but it's not worth it. Definitely not. So I I make videos and just share what I'm doing and explain what it. Um, that was the dialogue to most of my videos originally because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them, and the way to tell the story in that video at times was like to explain the technique that was being used. So I always wanted to have that in my videos. I feel lame just if I put a video up with nothing. Just clip, video. Where I'm not like talking to the camera in the video or nothing like I feel like I sold that experience short by doing that video. So I like it to at least have some kind of context or a theme. So and at times, especially when I was just building the channel and starting out, I didn't know how to make a theme to it, so everything was more technique based and why. So, and it hasn't gotten too far from that. I mean, it's still pretty close to that. And Jay, if people appreciate it, I appreciate that they appreciate it. Done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Like if okay, I would use yeah, I use an electric. I use electric stuff. Like I have a little electric saw. I've used that up into trees. It just doesn't have the power that I need and the guarantee that that's going to keep spinning and cutting through. I need predictability, and it's not there at times with electric powered tools. I need it to be predictable. If not, when it responds different or has a hiccup, that's when you get your saw pinched, you get your bar bent, you get your chainsaw broke, you get yourself hurt. Like a, a constant repetition of a tool is like that's what you want. That's what I want. I want that tool to perform and exactly the same every time. I don't want a new experience with the tool. I want the tool to do what the tool's supposed to do and nothing more. So that is my only issue with them is that I'm always concerned with that, and they're just stupid expensive. battery power saws might be okay. But yeah, and that's another one. What Billy's saying, and where they're doing like firework and stuff, not firework, like they're lighting off fireworks, where they have um, forest fires and stuff. When the fire alert is up high, I guess you can still go out there and use your chainsaw. You know, you could still do a job if you had. And I think August may have touched on that when he was demoing that big saw. That, well, I say big saw. I think it was like a 25-inch bar. Maybe it was a 28. But pretty good sized bar for a battery powered saw. And it beat the Stihl saw that was battery powered. But it also, it may have been a little lighter than the Stihl. I can't remember, but it looks silly as hell. That's just my opinion. Our win for August during the season. Yeah, I thought I agree. I agree that for him, that in his situation, that's so awesome. And I think you can get what I'm looking for out of those tools after a period of time of using them. You know, you start to get that reading on that tool. It's just I'm so dialed. I feel like a chainsaw and the way that it runs in my hands, they I feel like I become like one with the. I seen this little action figure. Listen to this. I was going through Walmart and I was in the clearance aisle and I seen this little action figure and I want it so bad, but I went back and it wasn't there. But it was Chainsaw Man and had a guy that had a head for a chainsaw and his arms were chainsaws too. And I should have bought it right then, but I was in a hurry and I was like, it'll be there. And then when I went back, it wasn't there. So I feel like I understand a chainsaw so, and my saws, that it's even hard for me when someone's like my brother's like, here, I got this 500i brand new with bark box in it. Here, give it a shot. And I'm like, yeah, but my 362 is gonna start on the same pull every time, and it's always the fourth pull. Cold, I don't care how cold it is. It'll start faster after it's ran. It'll start on the first pull, but cold start, four pulls. It's running on the fourth pull. Um, yeah, I. It's just hard. You get used to your tools. So. Yeah, it was sick, Dan. I wish I could find it. I would have. Damn, I wish I would have bought it. And it was like, I don't know. I guess maybe it was like a Japanese animation or something because it seemed like that's what it was maybe from. And his name was Chainsaw Man. Looks so sick. Batteries don't do good in the cold, huh? Yeah, I wonder all of that stuff. Like, goes through two batteries for one. Yeah, see, that's a rough one, man. It's a hard one to justify. Let me. Sound like somebody just pulled up in my driveway. Oh yeah. Shout out to oh damn. That joke would have went over much better if this damn thing would have been more busy. Oh, what the frick? Tom! Oh! You guys see that? No, you didn't even see what I hit my head on, did you? Ooh. That joke would have went over much better if I would have been like, I was out when the batteries got bigger than this. But this thing's pretty sick. And you get like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Just doesn't have the power that I want. All right. Oh man, that was so lame. bashed my head right off this. I can't even see it. The Arsenal right there. I can't my head right on that. I feel goofy. Knock something straight. All right. What are we doing now? Where are we at? Oh, Meta Spencer. He showed the new Notch rope runner. I don't like how everything has Notch on it now. Like, stop trying to sell everything. Like, stop trying to sell everything. I just don't know why they have that. If you asked, like if you ask someone, what does Notch? What is their tool? Like, what do they specialize in? Like Stihl, I would say chainsaws. Husqvarna, I would say lawnmowers. That one's gonna piss some husky people off, but Echo blowers. Um, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know why Notch needs to have their name on everything, but apparently, I think their name was on the other one too, wasn't it? Yeah, that's on the one I had the Pro. So who knows? Maybe they've made it all along, but Jesus, it just feels like their names on everything these days. And if it isn't, and you come up with something new, they're instantly going to take it and put their name on it and make a version of it. But Notch has a lot of good stuff, but they're getting pretty gimmicky with everything. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm a fan of the little push button things on the rope runner. I like I like the pins, and I don't like the pins are dummy proof. They they're not gonna if you push that pin in all the way. I just don't see there being a possible way or scenario where both of those stoppers come out and you lose anything. But I could see that thing not locking correctly or getting gummed up and you think that you shut it and locked it all the way, but you didn't. So that I don't like, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure everybody will be making videos and stuff on it, and they'll keep us kind of up to date on how it's going. But you know, I just don't see enough. I see that they took away the good pulley that was there and put in some more push buttons. That's the only thing I'm seeing really. Maybe it has a cam now where you can readjust the the friction on that. It's a differently designed cam, but I don't know. I feel like it's re-engineering for the sake of re-engineering. It didn't change nothing. It is what it is. Yeah, I think Husqvarna may have it when it comes to battery powered saws. I think they've got it pretty figured out, and I have been almost ashamed of Stihl's way that they've taken to do battery powered. Feel like they're like very low on the totem pole, and that hurts to say, but it's the truth. Did I see the collapsible throw hook? Dan K says, yes, sir, I did. And that is so incredibly smart. It is also as simple as it gets. And it doesn't surprise me when you show the engineer. So maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I kind of explained what I thought that the grapple hook was in the last live feed. I did kind of my best to explain from the quick video where he showed it. Um, and I was pretty like dead on about everything for the most part. I don't even know if there's anything I missed. Like I feel like I got everything. it made total sense because I've seen how grapple hooks work, and even his, when he uses his, that old one that had the metal prongs that flipped out and had the like four prongs, more of a one like this right here, but it folded up, those closed, and then when he threw it out, they would open up. More of a traditional uh, 1990s ninja movie grapple hook, you know? Kind of looks like that. That's what Reg was using originally. And I guarantee you, he's a very smart guy. As he started messing with it, I think he did. He's probably the one that engineered hooking it up on top so that it doesn't like catch stuff and hang down the wrong way. Um, but when you're using that, only one of them hooks or prongs of the three or four that it has is actually going to be holding. So there's no need for it. And you can streamline that thing and make it so simple. It's almost the design of it's a handsaw. It's a handsaw. Look, where is that hand? Oh, it's right here. So it's basically this. You hook here, it's got a big hole up here, you're hooked in. That's where you can stow it onto you and stuff. It opens up. It's got a little tether here. There's a bolt. It's got a little tether that hangs off of it. I like that because of the way that will hinge in that particular area. I really like that. So I would keep that tether. But you can also take it out, take the bolt out, and put a sewn eye, a tie dye up in there. He says don't use a wider or an open eye because it'll slide up the system or get pinched up over the top. But you can put your sewn eye rope onto it so it's fixed to your grapple hook, and then you would just open it up, and it would have a little hook right here, and that hook is what catches over the limb and holds it into place. So as you throw it, you could probably throw it with it closed. You throw it and it's gonna open, and then as you pull this thing up, you're pulling from this butt end, which is naturally gonna make this piece point upward and catch everything. So you're gonna have to get good at learning how to put twists in the rope and get it to flip, and it may take you a couple of those, but I love the design. I absolutely understand the idea, and I think it's genius. So I'm sure you didn't want that long of a an answer to that, but yeah, I'm a firm believer. The akimbo, they're smooth and simple with a ton of adjustability for a lot of climbing ropes. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why I love my. I get that. I get why the akimbo has the appeal because it takes it takes aspects of the gree and integrates it with a little bit of the engineering of a rope wrench. So the design concept in itself, I love. I don't like the price, and I just don't like the price. So it just doesn't show. It doesn't show me. I have the gree and I have the rope wrench. So I feel like if I was to put them together, I would get the akimbo. I've never got to use one, but I absolutely understand the design. It's really cool. So price is wild, ain't it? Yeah, I mean, I think the new rope runner is maybe $400. It was 400, maybe 450. I can't remember, but man, that's so expensive. And that just reminds me that I need to thank Greg Brown. Without Greg Brown, you guys have no idea. I would probably be climbing on literally just climbing on prusik cord and a hitch climber pulley to this day. I probably would have never. Well, I bought my own first rope wrench, but Greg and you guys have given me so many climbing devices along the way that that's where my kind of I wouldn't even have those experiences without a lot of you guys. It just blows my mind that when I got to sit there and think about it because I have a lot of gear, but like first of all, the thing that holds all my gear in it, that every climbing thing that's important to me, that bag come from Greg even. He sent me that bag. He sent me rope wrench tethers. Um, he gave me a Rope Runner Pro. Like he gave me. He's done so much for me. It is unreal, and like I will be indebted to Greg for eternity. That's a good human, and the world could use about 50 million more, and it would be a much better place. But yeah, the price will run a guy off, especially if you just don't have that expendable income. It's hard these days. So 450 for the akimbo there, right on. Yeah, it's I can understand the simplicity of how it hooks up. Is That's why I like the gree. It's a faceplate, flips open, stick the rope in, close the plate, flip the. It's so fast, so easy. Like, and it's just simple. It's so simple and so effective that if even today I ended up losing it, or I would buy another one. I would definitely have to buy another one of them because on spar work, it's my favorite. I was on a leaning tree that was dead over the house, and as it was coming down, I was having to work it down in chunks, and you just want to spin under at times. And there was no. I don't know why I decided. I knew what I was going to do with this tree as I was coming down, as I was going to chunk it down, but I decided to go with the zigzag dual rope, not with a wrench. So as I'm up there, I start to work my way down. I realize, dude, you didn't leave a stub or anything, and I don't want to cut stuff repeatedly. I always have another climbing device on my back, which is the gree, so I instantly clip in with that. That thing has it. It like there's no room in between. Like okay, it sits so close to my hip. A rope wrench, you lose like this much height. I would say you could lose up to 7 inches, 6 to 7 inches of distance between your hips and your anchor point because of the rope wrench and the space that it takes up on the rope. The gree takes up only this much space because the rope comes in and doubles and then comes out and a cam pinches it. So the device itself is only taking up this much rope space, so my hips are able to get 4 inches closer and feel 10 times more secure on a spar as I'm working it up. And I don't even have to like cock the anchor to the side where you get that little side lean. I don't even have to do that. The gree takes up so little space, and the sit back is so just, I think it's maybe like at times like an inch of sit back into the cam, if that. So, yeah, those little devices, the fact that with one hand I can attach it is just, it's so valuable to me in so many scenarios. The guy's cool, man. That makes sense. I've always wondered about the slack on the rope wrench. Yeah, the rope wrench, what's going to happen is the wrench is going to collapse. I'm not saying the sit back on a rope wrench is 6 inches. I'm saying because of the rope wrench, okay, let's do this. Same thing with the rope rudder. The rope rudder as a device, when it's engaged, is like this tall. So it's taking up that much space. Then you have the carabiner that attaches the device to you. And then maybe you have to engage the device where you have the setback. So that distance right there ends up being, as you go to tighten yourself, if you're on spar work, you're doing just a stem and you want to stay really close, as you go to try to snug up, you you won't get your hips. The device will always run into your anchor point a lot of times. So the gree being so small in the design of it allows you to get your hips way closer than any other device that I've seen. I think Billy or um, Jay and the akimbo, you may be able to, because it's compact. It's probably half the height of the zigzag rope wrench combo. So you end up being, even on spar work, you end up being so much more secure and up to the trunk, and your hips are able to be secured. You don't have to, like a little trick that you can use when you're doing spar work, SRT, as you go to lock your rope in to the lib, as you go around, let's just do this. We'll pretend like we girth this around. Okay, and I'm hooked on there, and this is my anchor point. So instead of it being right up at the front and it being hooked in, and then I'm tying off here, what I can do is I can take this to where this end of the rope ends up being in a bite, and I can twist this around the tree back here off to the side. That way, the trunk that's right here that it's going around, my anchor's further away, so it allows me to pull my device in even closer to the trunk to get me secured, and my rope's on a bite. If I tried to take that this way, it wouldn't work, it would slide. But if you take it against it, so it puts your rope into a bite, you can turn your anchor point around the trunk, and it'll allow you some more like security to get your hips into the trunk, especially on them ones when you're on a lean and you feel like you have your lanyard so far away. And oh, it's Chris here. What's up, brother? You recommend the Gree too? Yeah, I like it. I think it shouldn't be your primary climbing device. I think if you can get that though, it will be your best secondary device to have on you at all times. If you need it, you could always use it to get out of a tree, and it's pretty easy to set up. If you need a second tie-in point, you could always grab the tail of your rope and use it and have a secondary tie-in point. Like I was saying when you were saying to work yourself out that limb, be tied in with one device and take another little bitty device, and be tied into that limb. And as you work your way out it, stay tied into it and advance your point until you get out on the tip and you're on the side. Then if you slip, you can't go back in. And also, if you make an anchor there, and like say you go zigzag there, hitch climber back there, you can let yourself out and let yourself back into the tree too. So over the rope wrench, no, I would say rope wrench is the better device to get, and it be your primary climbing device because it can go with the hitch climber. You could use it in a bunch of different ways. If you're going SRT, I would say that. But the Gree is a really good little device to have, and it just will come in handy insanely often. You can probably find one rather cheap because I know that they're also for rock climbing. So I'm sure they have you don't have to buy them from like tree stuff or something like that, and you could probably get a pretty good deal on one. But I would use it as a secondary, an additional tie-in point. So I hope I made that clear. I love it as my secondary device. There are times where a tree is so small or I just got to go up and do one thing that the rope walking system for the Gree is simple. Hand descender, micro pulley, 3 to 1, and just step, sit, step, sit, step, sit with one leg all the way up. My knee was messed up at one point, and that ended up being perfect for me because I couldn't put a bunch of weight onto my right knee, and I was able to still rope walk my way up the tree, but with just my left leg because it integrates a total different way to rope walk. So if you're having knee issues, so you can't rope walk, that the Gree ends up being the trick. if you're doing spar work, I think it's hard to find a better device to be locked in doing spar work. Just my opinion. And as a secondary, it will come in so many times, like in handy, so many times it's not even funny. So, Jeffrey Schroeder, back to the news. Jeffrey Schroeder put out a video, back cut first. I didn't get a chance to catch that yet, but I'm curious what his way of doing back cut first. I've never been a big fan of the back cut first. I just always feel like you could do a very, very, very shallow front cut and then back cut and pull it with a rope. But see, I don't do the wedge banging like other people do. So I got to see the video. I'm curious. Um, Also, Jeff's new axes I think are coming in. So anybody is ever interested in a good axe, my guy J306 here also I think may make axes. So you have options. Let's just say that there are options out there to get axes. Peter Shea put out a couple videos. Peter was in his he's always down in the dungeon, into the shed, wherever he does his what did I have that set up at? Bench work. Yeah, at his bench, doing some work in his shop or something. So he does a lot of work on his own chainsaws. It kind of seems like he's got it pretty figured out. His stuff seems to run pretty good. So check out Peter's channel. He does tree work. He's really good. Pretty funny. The first thing I noticed is that I don't think he likes palm trees because his community picture was him flipping a palm tree out today or yesterday, um, which is funny. And then he put out a video where he was retrieving a tree that had uprooted and fell into what I think is like a bay area where he lives, so maybe the ocean, and it had a seawall that had fell over. So he used the tree back behind it and winched the pieces up out of the water and off like over the seawall instead of having to get out in the water and cut them. I don't even know if you could do that, but yeah, he would just hook them up, cut them, and it would pull them up with a truck. He set some rigging up, which is pretty cool. Ronnie Mills, love the videos. Oh well, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. I really do. Hours on machine solid bullets 5 pounds. Really? Yeah. Jay's axes look sick. Like I like that. So you're having yours. Wow. Yeah, his axes look really good. So check out Jay's axes. Check out Jay's channel. So Jay does everything. Jay's 10 times more entertaining than me. You should unsubscribe to me and go subscribe to Jay. He'll keep you much more. He's like, he does tree work. He does like restores classic cars. He's always doing something. Always doing something. So super creative guy. Check him out. Go buy one of his axes. Reg also put out a gnarly dead spruce tree where he sent the top out of it. Just notch grapple. Oorah Arb, which is our old buddy Daryl. Used to be, channel name used to be DQMC07. Then it switched to the Nations Climber. Now it's called Oorah Arb. And he showed a setup where he pulled his own top over when he was in a tree. You out of here, James? Right on, brother. We'll catch you next time. You heading out 2-ton? Alright. Well, okay. Now we can be. Let's skip everything else. I'm getting turtly. I'm putting the badge back on. I set it down for a little bit. I took like a lunch break. But now we are back on patrol. And it's turtle mode. Metal and wood. I still have wrote down here that Injawa is still recording his videos with a toaster. Or maybe he just needs to like clean the lens. Because it almost looks like his lens is sweaty or something. Like, you talk on your phone and then you're like, try to take a video and it's just all weird, blurry, and like, you're like, what's that? Well, you're all oily face is all sweaty on it. You gotta fix it. Hey, Todd, have a good one. Be careful. And I hope if you need help, leave a comment on something. I'll try to get you an answer. But yeah, you can do it, dude. Just take your time, think it through, think of the outcome before you make a abrupt decision. So you got it. So Steve and Jawa are just they're killing it, man. They're like I don't know, what would you say they're like I'm a like classic wrestling fan, so I would say they're like the Twin Towers. And that's like Big Boss Man and Akeem. They're they're like wreaking havoc on everybody, and they have no shame at times when they should, which is awesome and very entertaining for me. So yeah, well, underbelly sweat, maybe. Yeah, you know what? It probably was like because he's recording. That's it. Recording videos from between his legs, belly sweat. That's why he's a deputy. He's cracking cases. Billy's the man. Um, how come that guy never tells you where you can buy the crap? I don't know. He won't answer me. I think he has me blocked because I even leave cool, like nice comments. I'm trying to be his friend, and he ain't having it, and that's depressing to me because I never said anything too mean that we can't be friends. Um, so now I'm mad, and I got my feelings hurt, and I'm gonna be really mean this time. So in Jawa, clean the damn lens, wipe the damn lens off before you get a ticket. Steve stopped at a dealership to buy some saws. He don't he's seen this place and stopped in there, and then it turned out that they had a Husqvarna like 372 cover air cover for the air filter. He said he had a whole box of parts that he was leaving, but then he shown that he was just leaving with one part. He tried to say it's his local dealership, which I think he lives in like I don't even know Mississippi or something crazy. He's in Alabama right now, Safford, and he passed by this place, randomly seen it. Now he's calling it his local, the place where he orders all of his parts from. He's just wild. He's he's just crazy. He said he's got this big order, big box full of parts that are coming. So maybe I don't know why he stopped by the dealership, except for, in my opinion, I think it was to price check and to what did I say? Um, was to oh he stopped by to do price comparing and checking to like see what's the going rate on this saw in comparison to my saw because I think he's looking to pinch the people for his every penny that he can. Every single penny he can, I think he's trying to pinch people for. So, and I'll explain that as I get down through this because it made a lot of sense at the very end here that I'm like, well, maybe he's not that type of guy. But it just, everything keeps coming out to skeezy. Only the selling them part. But he can do whatever he wants. I don't think it's very cool. I think it's very shameful the way he kind of is doing it. But I guess you got to make a living, and he needs to like knock it off with saying that he likes helping people and giving them an affordable saw. There's nothing that you're doing. You're buying these saws for a fifth, a third, half of what you're selling them for. So what about the fact that it went through your hands made it increase so much higher in value? You should make money. I get that. That's cool. Do your thing. I feel like his price keeps going up. He keeps pinching people, and I'm just not a fan of that. Other than that, um, I get sick to my stomach when he videotapes between his legs. When he humps the air with a chainsaw in his hand, that's hilarious. Um, and you just can't. You have to know some channels when you're watching them. Like, be a sponge to learn things, but know when to put that sponge away so that it doesn't get, like, doesn't soak up something nasty. Or, like, you spill your soda and your sponge is on. I don't even know why that would matter, but yeah. Yeah, like, it's like wearing a white t shirt. You can get through the day without getting it dirty. And then you know you're about to go outside and sharpen your chainsaw. And you're like, you should have just took it off. Because you're going to end up getting stains on the shirt. That's kind of what, while you're watching Steve, you can accidentally absorb some not smart information and just wrong. But the entertainment is there for me. And I enjoy that. So, he's an idiot? No, he's a genius, man. He makes idiots look smart, Billy. I like it, dude. It is awesome. I hope other people can see what I'm seeing and they don't like let him just, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't take advantage of anybody, but we'll see. Let's keep going. So, has he get a ticket? So, Injawa with the, I'm about to give Injawa a ticket for his phone. Stop. Steve, buy this guy a damn phone. He does everything for you. Go buy him a damn cell phone to make videos with. Mr. Richie Rich, talking about, we think I should buy $1 million a dose. You go buy Jawa a phone, first of all. You want this guy to make videos for your channel, but every time I'm watching it, it looks like it was recorded from a damn toaster. So, um, it's weird that the dealership where he's like, "This is my local dealership. I'm in Alabama, Safford, Alabama," which is definitely not where he lives. It's probably quite a ways. I just know it. I've never seen him show that before, but he says it's his local dealership and he gets tons of parts from him. Later on, he admits that he orders all his parts, and the guy says that they ship a lot of places. So he instantly flips that into, "Oh, yeah, I probably get my parts from you guys. You guys are my dealer." For the sake of YouTube, cool, whatever you want to do, dude. I don't think it really works that way, but you can do whatever you want. His dealership just kind of looks at him like they don't know him, but whatever. He can do whatever he wants. So Steven and Jawa. Oh my God, this video. Remember that video where they were in a dark shed talking about the reach around handles? Like there are two men in a very poorly lit garage shed room talking about reach arounds. And it was really a wraparound handle. And Jawa knows that. Steve doesn't know that. The only way he could remember a wraparound handle is to, I do this trick too. If I need to remember something, I'll think of something it rhymes with or something. Reference. What do they say that is called? It's just making a reference. I can't think of the technical term. Whatever it is, but they're in this damn room again, and they're opening a box, and it's lube. So Steve and Injawa both talk about lube, and then Steve informs us that Injawa is the one that turned him on to this lube. And I backed out of the video before I seen any more. So I don't know what happened in the rest of that video, and wouldn't even recommend anybody go watch that. It went left, and I backed out. So um, I don't know how that video ends. Then something about Schaefer oil. Apparently, he has now changed his opinion on the best oil for the 52 millionth time. I don't know. I think he just. I don't know. I don't know. Does he forget that last week he was telling everybody a different oil was the best? I think he was saying Walmart oil is the best. I'm not saying it's not, but I definitely wouldn't stake my reputation on saying Walmart's oil is the best over anybody else's, but he would. So, yeah, I don't know about that lube thing. That shit was weird. Um, I would put that probably in the category of recording between your legs and like doing any kind of drawing attention to your crotch all the time. You should probably stay away from that stuff. I'm trying to be his friend. I'm not trying to be embarrassed by association. We're gonna be friends eventually. So I'm trying to throw him a bone, help him out. Steve, stop talking. Don't tell. You two just shouldn't talk to each other that way, especially when you're alone. Weird. Um, Everybody should be juiced about this, and I was just over the moon when I found out he now has an entire box of new Noker carburetors. Carburetor. How's he say it? Noker carburetors. Is that a carburetors? Um, I can't keep saying it. I can't say it like him. I'm not as cool. That's the issue. But I was trying to imitate. Didn't work. So all this, his entire channel was built on this Noker 381. And now he's gotten the carburetors 2 years later. He said they were the best saws in the world back then. Now he's saying he's got the carburetors to fix them. But and he just got them like today. But whatever. Hopefully it fixes his saws and the 381s rule the world. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. He's now selling 661 parts. Okay, yeah. Answer me this: how many people we got here? 8. Okay, out of the 8 people here, I'm about done too. Um, why would a guy who sells chainsaws not be able to get a certain chainsaw? Okay, here's the thing: he's selling 660s that are his Pro Mag brand, whatever. I don't know what it. I, um, replica 660s. He sells them. He will sell them right now. Why can't he sell a replica 661 chainsaw? He can sell it in a part kit, but why can't he sell it whole? If what he's doing and what they're doing is ethical and honest and proper, why can't you sell? Why is there one chainsaw that you can't sell? Is that because the company still makes that chainsaw? And legally, you shouldn't even be selling these parts? I think that's the reason. He's now telling people to that he can sell he has 661 part kits. And you can order one. And it's only a couple $100 more than the 660. Oh my god. So, you can get a 660 chainsaw from him. Let me kind of break this down. Because this should almost make your head hurt. He's a con artist, he says. Yeah. You can buy a 660. I don't even know how much he sells them for. Let's say 800 bucks is what he's selling it for. I think that's probably pretty close. So 660 is 800 bucks. It is a put together saw that has been assembled, tested, apparently works. Steve will give you this like lifetime warranty too. You can buy it, break it, buy it, or no, buy it, break it, he'll fix it. break it, and Jawa fix it, break it, and Jawa fix it, break it, and Jawa fix it. The first break, when I said break, when Steve fixed it, it just needed to be started with it didn't start. He had to show him the crotch thing, so he fixed the first. But he'll fix anything for you. You just buy a saw from him, he'll fix it for the rest of your life. So you get the greatest warranty from him. Why would a saw that comes in pieces cost $200? Okay, technically he says a couple $100 more than the 660. You can get a 661 that is a bucket of parts. How does that make any sense? How does a box of parts? It doesn't make any sense. And I don't think it's Mtronics either. So it's not even I don't think it is that saw. I think it's just I think it's the 660. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the reason that he can't sell it as a put together chainsaw as a finished product because that's still a saw that Stihl was selling. So I'm curious if somebody else has any more info on that and knows why that would happen, why he can sell a 660 but he can't sell a 661. You can only get it in parts. Let me know. Also, let me know why a 661 would cost like $300 more than the 660. It's parts. This is put together saw. I think he thinks that it's one higher so he can add money or so. I don't know. Um, oh yeah, he did show some serrated files for serrated blades. Those are kind of cool. I kind of dig that. I wish I had a set of those so I could do my hand saws. Um, then he whips out this goofy ass chainsaw and calls it the best chainsaw on planet Earth. It is like a knockoff McCullough, and a knockoff is being nice. This is the greatest. I don't know who you guys. We've talked about this multiple times. He does videos where he's like, "I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to start this saw. I'm going to show you how to change the spark plug. I'm going to show you how to I don't even put a bar on a chainsaw." Every time he says that, he never finishes the video. He never accomplishes the thing he says he's going to do. He's had so many videos where I'm going to show you how to start this saw, and he pulls and doesn't get it started. So they did it again. Damn it. They did it again with this saw. This time it was in Java. So Steve felt pretty confident that he can keep recording, and they would just fire this chainsaw up. And Java quickly realized that he can't do it. That was 6 days ago, I think, or 5 days. I've still yet to see that chainsaw run. And remember that it's taken it 5 days to even run, but it was instantly referred to and promoted as the best chainsaw on planet Earth. That's where you lose me, Steve. That's where you lose me. You jump in both feet when you should test the water and make sure. You're gonna end up like burning your legs off or something, doing shit like that. Oh, he has this 5800 chainsaw that just has the 372 plastics on the outside of it, so it makes it look like it's a higher, like a more powerful saw, but it's not. It's just a 5800 with different plastics. So don't be suckered by that stuff. Uh oh yeah, that chainsaw that he said is the best chainsaw on planet Earth. It is the best boat anchor probably on Earth. Like the best looking boat anchor. Because that thing, like I said, 5 6 days, still haven't seen it start. Um, and oh my god, apparently in Java he got juiced up. He was all bricked up on like Steve showed him his Bugatti, and you're just gonna have to look into this to understand what I'm saying. But Steve whipped his Bugatti out, and in Java loved the way it feels. So as another, like, I stepped backed out of that shit too. The lube talk, now that. So I don't know what's going on over there. I think those two need to take a break from each other. Um, Stuff's getting weird. Uh, Patrick from Connecticut, he bought himself two 5800 chainsaws from Steve, and he started it like a normal guy starts a chainsaw, which is really weird because that's the first time I've ever seen those started like in a normal way. Usually you use your crotch. I've only seen those saws started crotch style. So that was pretty cool. Good on Patrick for um, starting it like a not so beta. Let's just say that. Um, and then last was Frank. Old Frank in Georgia. Um, he bought himself a big bore and a regular 372. Steve's into pairs. Pairs. Um, I got I got a match for you. Your breath and a buffalo fart. What do you think about that? Or your face and my ass, or something like that. I think it's. Did I say it wrong? Sometimes I say that one wrong and it embarrasses me. But I'm done. I'm done, guys. I don't know if he did anything this week to get a ticket. I think we're gonna let him. No, 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 no. Yeah, you definitely getting a ticket for the lube talk. Um, and then a fat ass ticket for what else? What was it? Yeah, being all bricked up, talking about how his Bugatti feels. I don't know, man. Somebody needs to check in on those guys and tell them to kind of chill with the sus activities. Guys, it's been fun, but it's over. The trolling has to come to an end eventually, and I think this is it. Until next week, I think my chat kind of froze up again. Until next week, we will do it again, and maybe somebody will do something stupid, and we'll talk about it, and it'll be entertaining, or Steve will keep us entertained. See you guys. Have a good one. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a safe work week. If I can help any of you guys, let me know. See ya.